This city is the height of luxury, elegance and wealth. A global and cultural hub, it's one of the most sought after cities to visit, considered a dream destination for many. But about 30 minutes in, I was convinced this was the most boring city I'd ever visited. Any guesses? Well, this is Geneva, Switzerland. I flew in on a Sunday morning with half a day to kill before heading to a conference. My whole life, in my mind, Geneva was a top-tier city. One of the most livable, beautiful places in the world, exuding pure wealth and grand energy. Inhabited by the upper echelon of society, bankers, diplomats, executives, the richest of the rich. But as I got the train into the city and wandered the empty streets under the grey and gloomy sky, I found myself desperately searching for any signs of life. Some life, some energy, some soul.
This is the Jardin Anglais, tiny garden. I mean, yeah, it's nice. It's got a beautiful fountain. But yeah, a bit underwhelming. I was expecting a bit more lavish, elegant, but it's just a bit bleak. Still a lovely, refreshing, slightly rainy, slightly cold, breezy day though.
A city that I'd heard so much about was offering almost nothing. In fact, unlike most European cities, there was no definitive central town square to find. So I was constantly doubting myself and secretly hoping there was some hidden, bustling centre that was just too stupid to find.
This city is dead. Where is the centre? Was fun. Who would have thought Geneva would be so boring? Then again, maybe I still haven't found the main centre. I assume that's the centre. Has to be right. Actually, is that a little bit of water? Oh, it's a road. Okay, yeah.
To be fair, after searching for some signs of life, I did find some.
Stole the Starbucks Wi-Fi. All I've heard going into the Starbucks is English accents. People have come to travel, realise there's nothing to do except sit in the Starbucks. Every single person that's coming here has been British, probably on the same flight as me.
But I was getting hungry, and as a rite of passage for a simple British tourist escaping the authentic foreign lands under the guise of exploring different cuisines, I sought my nearest McDonald's. To be fair to me, I figured if there is a definitive city centre, the nearest McDonald's would indicate some sort of proximity to it.
I think this street is a main street because it's got a tram. This is the bustling centre of Geneva, I guess. I'll cut him some slack because it's Sunday, so everything's closed. I will say the architecture is beautiful. Oh, this is a lovely little area. I like how consistent they are with the fountain design as well. Ooh. Gotta try it.
No, again, okay. Like I remember to the big Asad, и программа скрипта и да допустим се факултет унгаде, но например, adică e gen cursul cu făcută. Da, exact, adică nu e modalitatea de dacă e mai ieftin.
Now, as I kept wondering, I did acknowledge it was a Sunday morning, and on any given Sunday in mainland Europe, you will find 99% of institutions shut down. Plus, the weather really wasn't the best. But that didn't hinder my strong opinions.
Man, Geneva's boring. You know what Geneva's like? It's like if Durham got colonised by the French.
For what I expected to be a loud, vibrant, cultural city, I found to be quiet, still, slow. To me, dull, boring, soulless. While I was there, I thought I was crazy. Surely this isn't the same Geneva that gets so much admiration and idolization all over the world. I would say I'm a pretty well-travelled man, and I've experienced countless cities, mostly in mainland Europe and Southeast Asia. I've lived in the UK my whole life, which is filled with dark, grey and depressing cities, so I feel like I'm pretty well calibrated to assess how fun or interesting a city is. After coming back, I even scoured discussions and forums online to check whether anyone else agreed with my assessment. And thankfully enough for me, it was filled with posts of people calling Geneva boring just like me. So that's the end of it, right? Geneva's a boring city. But here in these forums and discussions lie a very interesting metric. It made me start to question, what is an interesting city? What makes a city feel alive? And when you think about these questions, you realise it's all about perspective, as most things usually are. For me, a 23-year-old in the midst of my exploring everything the world has to offer and making friends with strangers kind of part of my life, my definition of what makes a city exciting or feel alive is very particular. What makes a city feel alive for me is crowds, diversity, innovation, technology, towering skyscrapers, city skylines, youthful energy, constant movement. But Geneva doesn't offer any of that. And as I read these discussions, I realised Geneva caters to a completely different audience. I've never been to a city like it, really. It offers beautifully maintained parks and buildings, high quality cultural institutions like museums and concert halls and art galleries and fine dining, an efficient and clean transit system, safe and peaceful streets to walk around. Plus, it's so well connected, many people are able to just spend their weekends away on pretty lake or mountain trips. Another major factor is that Geneva is a much smaller city than other typical cities of a similar presence in the global scene. And also because the cost of living is so notoriously high, it kind of acts as a filter, meaning a lot of people don't live in Geneva, but they commute in for work. And those who do live in Geneva can afford the lifestyle for the finer, quieter things in life. The target audience for Geneva isn't a hyperactive 23-year-old who needs constant stimulation. It's for the members of society who've already made it, the bankers and diplomats and executives I mentioned earlier. So the quiet, still, slow Geneva that I found to someone else might be calm, safe, and elegant. There's quite a maturing feeling about arriving to one of the wealthiest cities in Europe and expecting loud excitement just to discover that prosperity often looks like quiet order. And I think I fell into the trap that most people fall into when they assess anything. When people talk about countries or careers or places to live or universities, just about anything. But as I finally found some movement and crowds in this otherwise quiet, static corner of the world, I got my hopes up.
Okay, this is what I was looking for. Some sign of life. This is much better. Of course, there's always one.
But in retrospect, maybe the quiet and stillness aren't flaws, they're features. And when travelling, our judgment on spaces really depends on perspective, and that different spaces are designed to attract different types of people.
Look who it is!
Let's go!
Yeah, let's go! Yo! Let's go! Dzień dobry!
I really hope you guys like this video. It's a lot more narrative driven than the hundreds of videos I've made before, and it's a bit similar to my STEM versus finance careers video, which thank you so much for all the love you've given that video. It's on, I think, 60k views now, which is unbelievable. It actually, I want to thank you guys so much, especially because that single video, the amount of watch time, it got me over the monetization threshold for YouTube. So I can now call myself a professional YouTuber because of all you guys. So I want to thank you so much. You've already made me, through YouTube AdSense, 13 great British pounds. That is a really big deal. I know that compared to the giants and mega corps like Mr. Beast and whoever, that's absolutely nothing. But to me, this is just it's so special. Another thing, right now I'm sat on 1,497 subscribers, so I'm going to take the chance to preemptively thank you all for 1,500 subscribers, which is unbelievable. Back in January, I think, I crossed the 1,000 mark, so only 5 months later to be hitting another 500 after the first 9 years of YouTube it took me to hit 1,000 is unbelievable. Thank you guys so much. I honestly can't believe it.